What's up, everybody? It's Jamie Shaw here with the Absolute Basketball Experience. Today, we talked to newest Texas Tech commitment, Jamarius Burton. We got into his time at Wichita State and how he's an ultimate winner. We talk about his upcoming birthday and how he's going to celebrate it during quarantine. And we talk about the very first time he beat his sister in basketball and so much more. We're very excited about it. Make sure you check it out. But before we get into it, be sure to subscribe to this channel. And when you subscribe to it, and if you like it, please feel free to share it over your platforms. Love for everybody to hear how wonderful of a guy Jamarius is. In the meantime, leave a comment. Who's your favorite Texas Tech player of all time? I'm eager to hear about it. This run that Chris Beard has going right now is off the charts. Excited to hear what you think. But without further ado, here is Jamarius Burton on the Absolute Basketball Experience. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jamie Shaw here with the Absolute Basketball Experience. I am here with newest Texas Tech commitment, Jamarius Burton. Jamarius, first off, congratulations.
Thank you.
Absolutely. How does it feel to finally get this off your chest?
Feels good. It's like a burden has been lifted. The process, I've been going through it for about a month now, constant communication, so it feels good for it to finally slow down and for me to focus on one school and one school only.
No doubt. So before we get into it here, your birthday's on Wednesday. Obviously, everybody's in quarantine right now. How you going to turn up on your birthday?
Yeah, I just want my mom to make a great meal, you know.
I hear that.
So I'm going to just create a list of what I want, and hopefully she can put it together for me.
What's going to be on that list?
Caramel cake and red velvet cake, and then some good cooking, chicken Alfredo, many more.
Man, that sounded good, right? That's getting to be dinner time now, too. You're making me hungry.
Yeah.
Speaking of your mom, obviously she played college basketball, both your older sisters, college basketball and stuff. How did that play a role in your development as a player overall?
Yes, it played a major role because they've been there at a high enough level to understand that what it takes to get there. And then they're always in constant communication with me about what I need to do to get better. Like, they're not finna sit back and just say, oh, you're great all the time, you know? They're gonna tell me, hey, you need to stop getting cut back door. You need to stop doing this, stop doing that. And I mean, when you listen to them, because all they're looking out is for your best interest. So, I mean, I just try to absorb everything and continue to grow as a player. So I thank them for always being in my corner.
No doubt. So how old were you before you could beat your mom in one-on-one?
I don't know. When I was growing up, I didn't play my mom one-on-one. I played my sisters because they were older than me. Yeah.
So how'd that go?
It went well when I was younger because, I mean, I was quicker. Even though I was younger, I was quicker, you know. But they were bigger at that time. But what I can remember was us going back and forth arguing.
No doubt. Just like brothers and sisters are supposed to do.
Yeah.
Probably get 2 or 3 points in and all of a sudden 30 minutes of arguing.
Yep. That's how it was.
No doubt. All right, so talk about just an ultimate winner. You know, your senior season independence, you're 31-1 on the 4A state championship team in North Carolina. And then for that team-loaded North Carolina team that summer, y'all made it all the way to the gauntlet finals. You know, what does winning mean to you, and how competitive can you get to not lose?
Yeah, I mean, when I was growing up at the YMCA, my mom used to always say this to me: we don't play to play, we play to win. So ever since then, it's been instilled to me to win, you know. So I just take that to each and every team I go to, you know. That's my motto. I try to do whatever I can do to help win. You know, I'm not one of those players that's going to be selfish and that cares more about scoring. I'm fine with just doing whatever it takes to win, and I've been successful doing that.
No doubt. Your freshman year, you started 28 out of 37 games. You started the very first game of the year, your freshman year. For the first time in a decade, somebody at Wichita State did that, started as a true freshman. What was that feeling like when you got the phone call or you got told that you're going to be starting game one of your college career?
I mean, well, I did good the exhibition game. So Coach Marshall at that time was saying JB was playing harder and smarter in that exhibition game, so he deserves to start next game. So that's what happened.
And you finished top 10 in assist and assist percentage, both your freshman and sophomore year in the entire league, great league. And Greg Marshall was very public about kind of how your positional versatility on both ends of the floor. Um,
hmm
how do you categorize yourself as a player? How would you describe yourself? What would you say? How would you categorize yourself?
Uh, I mean, I'm a point guard, but I can move off the ball and do multiple things. That's the great thing about me being 6'4", 210,
Hmm.
is that I can kind of move around. So that's the great thing about me is I can take that and use that for my teams that I play for. And that kind of goes along with me doing whatever it takes to win because I can impact the game in multiple ways.
No doubt. And being that unique type of player, who do you watch at the next level to kind of glean off of yourself that you think you play like and to kind of develop yourself as a game to watch them?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I watch a combination of a couple of guys just to try to steal some things that they have in their game and add it to mine. Like when I'm looking at the pick and rolls, I'm looking at LeBron because he's a big guard and I'm a big
Yeah.
guard. Not saying I'm LeBron. And then when I look at my mid-range shot, trying to improve, Kawhi's the king at that right now.
Yep.
So those are just two guys that I'm studying, to just get some things off of their game and add it to mine.
Absolutely. And then going after this season, you decide to transfer. What all went into that decision for you?
Yes. Well, first off, I'm just grateful to have had my opportunity at Wichita State. Coming out of high school, tearing my ACL junior year,
Mhm.
playing senior year, to get that type of offer, going through that was amazing. And my opportunity there, I will never forget it. But it just came down to my development. I feel like that in order for me to maximize my full potential, I needed to be somewhere else and in a great culture to do so.
Absolutely. And then before we kind of jump into the Texas Tech aspect of things, this is a very unique time to be going through a recruiting process. No visits able to be made, having to do a lot of FaceTime and virtual tours and Zoom interviews and stuff. How was that process for you? And how are you able to get a comfort level with schools throughout this quarantine process?
Yes. Well, I had to take into account how consistent the schools was when it came to reaching out to me. And then I had to try to create a list of things that I wanted them to provide informational wise. And then just basically skim through it, watch as much film, and then envision myself in those programs. So when it came down to it, I cut my list down to 4. And then I really studied those 4, watched film. And I felt like Texas Tech gave me the best opportunity to achieve my goals and was the best fit for me.
No doubt. And then I guess so. You had a lot of goals and a list of stuff that you wanted to do. What were some of those things that Texas Tech just made it too hard to say no to?
Well, I mean, the success that they've had with transfers is undeniable.
Mhm.
And then the fact that they pride themselves on doing everything NBA-like, and that's my aspiration is to get to the NBA. So I know that I'm going to have elite training with John Riley as a strength and conditioning coach. I'm going to have elite training on the athletic part as far as injuries and maintaining my body because all they do is NBA level. And then you got Coach Beard and a big staff that works hard and that has a no excuse culture. So when you put myself in that environment, I feel like I'll do great.
Absolutely. And speaking of Coach Beard, you come from high school. Preston Davis. He's a tough coach.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Wichita State with Greg Marshall. He's a tough coach. Chris Beard, Texas Tech. He's a tough coach. Do you
Mm-hmm.
seem to thrive better with coaches who demand excellence out of you?
Yes, I thrive with coaches that demand excellence. As long as they demand excellence in a way that is not disrespectful, I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm. And then, Chris Beard, in these couple of years that he's been at Texas Tech, has had an undeniable way of putting underrated players who are unique into the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
How much of a role, being that you are a little bit underrated, being that you are a unique player, how much of a role did his success with players like you, putting them to the next level, how did that play into it for you?
Yeah, that played a big part into my decision because, I'm not a top 5 player, whatever the case may be, but I'm a worker and he adopts that street dog mentality. And I feel like that's the mentality that I've always had. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like me and him will develop a relationship and do great things together.
At Wichita State, your teammates called you Grandpa.
Yeah.
Where did that moniker come from, and do you embrace it?
Well, I need to fix that because they only called me that my freshman year, and that was only at the beginning of the season.
Okay.
So when they mentioned it my sophomore year, I was blown because they don't call me that anymore,
Yeah.
So, but at that time, they called me Grandpa because just the way I spoke, like my ability to articulate is just very wise. Like
Yeah.
everything I say, I don't waste energy. Everything that I say, I'm just going to say what I think. you know, what I think is true in my opinion, and it is what it is. And then not to mention, I'm a guy that's always cautious about his body, you know, saving myself. So when they wanted to play some pickup games that I felt like could put me in jeopardy, I was like, nah, you know, we just did this, we just did that. So that's where that grandpa thing came from. But my sophomore year, they definitely didn't call me that.
Well, you started games and you're beating them out for positions and stuff. I'm sure that they simmered on all that real quick.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it is what it is.
I guess wrapping things up real quick. Do you have anything that you want to say to the Texas Tech fans, Texas Tech Nation, to be able to what they can look forward to?
Yes, I mean they should look forward to a guy that's committed to winning. I mean, we talked about my drive for this game, and I just want them to know that as a player, I'm willing to do any and everything to help in as far as winning is concerned. So that's what they should get from me from day one.
Absolutely. Jamarius, I really appreciate you joining us here. For Jamarius Burton, the newest Texas Tech commitment, I'm Jamie Shaw with the Absolute Basketball Experience. Thank you guys very much. There you have it. We'd like to thank future Texas Tech point guard Jamarius Burton for joining us on the Absolute Basketball Podcast today. We're able to peel back the layers and really get in with his decision and him as a person. Great interview, great stuff. Again, if you enjoyed it, please feel free to share it over across your platforms. And also, please subscribe to the channel and make sure you click the bell so that you get the notifications whenever new stuff comes up. In the comment section, we'd love to hear from you who you'd like to hear from. We've had a great run of talking with players, coaches, all that kind of stuff. Please be sure to let us know who you'd like to hear from in interviews that you'd like to see us do or topics you'd like to hear us talk about in the future. But in the meantime, thank you very much for joining in. For Jamarius Burton, I am Jamie Shaw with the Absolute Basketball Experience. Thank you.